In the spring of 2017, a group of filmmakers, writers, and actors got together to make their first movie. It was to be a short science fiction story, shot almost entirely on location in South Wales, UK. A story was written, and an ambitious decision was made to try and make a full-length feature, in the hope that a feature would be more interesting and garner more attention than a short. Much like the plot of the movie, the cast and crew went on a long journey into the unknown, taking on all of the problems and challenges that faced them. This is their story. The making of Off-World. For the interior of the spaceship Tantalus II, a set would have to be built for the scenes in which the mission encounters difficulties.
I remember when Terry first told me about the plan to build this flight deck inside his friend's garage, and I looked at him like he was absolutely crazy.
Hi kids, it's 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday the 17th of February, and I'm on my way to Blackwood to make a spaceship. Okay, so we've moved all the boards from there 50 feet to there, which is one quite exhausting trip. Now they've got to go an extra 100 feet up the hill to where we're building. So this unassuming garage is where we're going to be filming, so come with me and let's get into the dark place. Okay, come on light, do your thing. So as you can see, we're this largish double garage type area. Here's the door I just came through, so hopefully we'll be able to fit it in here. So it's now about 11:30. We've got all this wood up, MDF, all different sizes, hardboard, pretty much ready to lay it all down, start marking it out and get building. We've got a lot of work ahead of us.
I saw the space obviously when they started to build, and it was just like one of these standard typical brick double-sized, treble-sized garages. It's more like a workshop than a garage, really, I think. But yeah, they were sort of marking out sort of like where some of the initial joists and some of the initial bits of wood were going to go. Looking at the space, and I'm thinking, I can't even begin to imagine. I mean, I know from doing theatre that it's amazing what you can do with a couple of bits of wood, some nails, a bit of wood glue and a lick of paint, and a couple of bits of tech that you've probably pulled out of a skip somewhere. I know it's amazing what you can do.
And I don't think that I believed that they were going to pull it off, even though I knew everything about the history, I knew everything about the people that were working on this set. I didn't really realise until the walls had gone up, and I thought, okay, yeah, it's like an MDF outline of a cockpit.
We've completed kind of the first stage of the main construction. I'm sure you can hear me. So we got window struts here, ceiling, doors, everything. Computers are going on this side and this side. Pilot chairs here. We got the console to bolt down. So the console's going to be there. These are one of the chair backs, which we fit the chairs into, and all the seat belts and everything else. And two more chairs here and here. Door will be fitted. So as you can see now, we've got a cockpit. Excellent. We're getting there. We've also done little bits of strengthening on outside of all the walls. We've got vertical pieces to stop them wobbling like jellies now, so they're a lot more sturdy. The sides of the monitor console have been blanked off over there, this side and that side. You might see it better over there. We've got some light, maybe not. And you'll also notice we have a front extra piece now to put monitors on a nicer angle kind of thing, so that took a good few hours to do. We've strengthened the underside of the console, so it's not so much a trampoline anymore. It's a lot more sturdy. And up the top we've got a sort of, I don't know what you call it, a very wide piece of trunking platform to put on a large detail piece, which has got some lights and stuff on it. They'll be hanging down from there. So that's a nice piece, and everything kind of converges now into a nice point, and it gives you the sort of aerodynamic feel, which is really nice. So we are so close. I say this every time, There's not much left to do, but I've been saying that for days.
It was like, you walked into this garage and it was like this shell of, of the cockpit. And it hadn't had any of its things, that hadn't been painted, nothing, it hadn't like had any set design done really properly. It was just a shell of something. And you kind of walked in, you're just like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is just mental. It was like, you could see that it was going to be incredible already, but the fact that you could see where it was, you just thought, oh my goodness, they've got so much work to do still. It's going to be really good.
And I was so fortunate to be in the position where I could actually go and help to build that set. So I did the chair coverings, I helped with doing little bits of labels and things like that. And it was a really, really amazing experience.
Hello everybody, this is the end of day 15. I've been up here on my own, as you can tell, and I'm still fine. What have I got done today? Well, all the heat shields, that's all these boards you can see in between the windows, they have all had strengthening pieces on the back now, so they're dead flat and a lot sturdier, so they'll stay flat and they won't warp and that kind of thing, which that took a long day to do, especially as my drill died on me. It's end of day 16. Amy's been with me today, she's currently holding the camera. We've been painting a few things. The heat shields are all painted grey, the struts on the windows are painted grey, the doors are together but not in place yet, which is why they probably look a little bit wonky, but that's going to be fine. Because we've started painting, that means the fun part has begun. No more woodwork, let's get on with detailing it. So next week should be much fun. See you soon.
And when I started seeing all of the detailing going on, the crazy detail that you don't even see in the film. I don't think the film does that set justice, because it was incredible. It wasn't just kind of like, oh well, we'll just make the bits that the camera can see. When you walked in, it was like walking into Disneyland or something. You walked in and you were inside a spaceship cockpit. It was just insane.
Hi everyone, I apologise for how dark it is in here, but as you can see, we need to show off some of the practical lighting in the set. And we've got the heat shields all up, because if we put the heat shields, if we took them all off, it'd be so bright in here you wouldn't be able to see anything. But as you can see, there's practical lighting in the centre column, some on the roofs, LEDs all the way across. I don't know if you can see the steering wheel around here somewhere. There's some nice flashing lights going on there. And a lot of these switches can be moved. There's a couple of these 3D printed switches you can operate. It's one or two push buttons. The keyboards are dummies, the screens are dummies. Screens on the backs of the chairs are dummies, but the seat belts on the chairs. These are panels that can be removed. This one can be taken out, leaving a hole about that big for putting cameras and things through. The same on this side, you can see the panels being taken out, so there's an empty gap. And further back, which I don't know if you can see, we've got a TV screen here, which is a dummy. That can be removed, leaving a hole about that big to put cameras and lights through, etc. And the same over this side, which has a clear break glass for emergency type thing. Down at the bottom here, we've got two consoles. They're both identical, with chairs in and pretend keyboards and some non-moving switches and things, but the chairs are pretty good and the seat belts on them. A little bit of detail up here that doesn't actually do anything. A lot of people have worked for a lot of hours on this, over about a month, and as you can see, it is quite impressive. It looks great under the right lighting. Hopefully there'll be some photos to accompany this, so you can see all the stuff that's going on with headrests. You know, you can see some of the console stuff, and you can make these switches are 3D printed switches that you can flip backwards and forwards. You know, there's some LEDs on the panels, red LEDs there, purple up here and white, multicoloured ones up here which switch on and off with a switch on the side. And like I say, some more detail, some lights that you can switch on and off just by pressing them for the interiors. And at the back here, I'll just switch the light on. These are just, they come on like that, they look quite nice once they're on. They help to light the entire thing.
To get a head start on the filming, the cameras rolled on March 27, 2017 at the Spaceship Interior set.
So during the filming process, I was very lucky to be one of the cast members to actually film on both location and film inside the spaceship set. And It was so surreal because it looked absolutely incredible.
And actually, we shouldn't just be here all day. Also, the good thing about that means
Out of fun, guys.
we can shoot from the wide angles and the first take is actually let everyone do it like this. So from a wide thing.
My first thoughts were I was blown away, to be honest, with how detailed everything was. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. So yeah, I was really impressed with how everything was. It was really atmospheric, and I really enjoyed the shoot. To be honest, it was a fun crew to be around.
Because it was quite dimly lit, I had loads of places I could put my microphones, which is a happy event for a sound recordist. Yeah, it was quite interesting having to constantly move around and, you know, stay out the camera's way. A lot of the time I was lying down on the floor with the boom mic. But, you know, like anything, when you're on a budget, you've got to kind of make decisions on the fly.
So when it came time to film in the spaceship set, although we would have loved to have had a massive, you know, nicely made design set, we had to do the best with what we could. And even though it was a large garage, the spaceship set was still quite claustrophobic. It was designed to fit 4 people, but when you've got crew and cameramen and sound guys, you know, all around, it was really tight. But I think we made it work. It looks bigger on screen than it actually was, and if you see some of the filming footage, you can tell that it's a lot more cramped than it actually looks.
Even the slight hotspot of the yellow behind Matt there on the wall, it just makes the yellow by your arm there to bring a bit of interest to a blank wall.
And it was a really, really amazing experience to stand there as the very first take was called inside this incredible spaceship in a garage in Blackwood.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, when I was 8 years old, I saw a film called Star Wars, and ever since then I wanted to direct a sci-fi movie. And thanks to you lot, thanks to a lot of people around the world, and a lot of people with much more faith than I've got, we're actually making a sci-fi film. Woo! Woo! Good luck, everybody. Be nice, be cool, be professional, and let's do this. So, Off-World, shot 1, scene 4, take 1.
There were like so many funny and amazing memories from that day.
One of the things that we weren't expecting on a shoot day was the neighbour to be building their kitchen. So there was lots of saws and lots of hammers going on. So it was just about timing takes and, you know, negotiating with them a little bit. And they, you know, we'd say, okay, we're going to shoot the next half hour. Do you mind keeping quiet? And they're like, yeah, no problem. And they were very friendly and accommodating.
Me and Danny would joke about how if it was 2 girls flying the ship, we wouldn't have crashed it. It was the boys' fault.
So if the girls had been in charge, this would be a completely different movie.
It really would. It really would.
Like, you would have got us there. You would have gone to manual control when you wanted to.
Yeah.
When it was the right time.
Yeah.
You know how to steer the ship. I think we should have just taken over. When we're like talking back there and they start fannying around.
Hang on. Would it have just been Terry and Tom in the background going, are we nearly there?
Okay, system report.
All systems are nominal, life support green, and fuel and stores are at 10%.
Destination coming up. Take a good look. There's our new home.